Hello and welcome to Critical Idiots. Today we feature our special guest, Ninja.
Give us what you got.
Russell Crowe plays a guy with a hint of road rage. When a frustrated mother beeps for a little bit too long, he proceeds to ruin her fucking life. A classic case of punishment fits the crime. I told you guys to chuck up. Never mind.
Oh,
Daniel.
That's a good one.
Russell Crowe, man. Russell Crowe. What is happening with his gut?
Russell Crowe, he's getting old.
I guess he survived that fall from Les Mis.
So, what did people like about this movie?
Nothing.
I think Russell Crowe's acting was good.
I had a really good time watching Russell Crowe be
Evil.
batshit crazy and, a real bad guy. He's been a bad guy before, but I don't think to this level or this much of an unlikable character.
Yeah, but there's another problem with this movie where they try to write in that he's, some sort of heartbroken, frustrated person who's kind of pushed to the limit, but it's not really that believable.
I think it is.
no, I
They're
think
trying to claim like it's timely, like make this like psychological thriller, and then with all the stuff at the start, they're trying to like make his character like relevant.
And, it's a dangerous, dangerous thing. But we're seeing it more and more.
I think he did a great job given what little he had to work with. But I don't think that says too much. I just think that, he's a great actor. But I don't know why he took this role necessarily. Why he read the script and was like, yes.
Maybe it's just because it looks like it's a fun role. I think that's why he would have taken something like this, because it looks like he gets to be loose and wild.
He just sit down the whole shoot.
He doesn't. Yeah, when this movie started, I didn't know what I was walking into at all, and then sets up a lot of these very cliched, sort of almost horror movie tropes where somebody who's they're always late for work, it's their big day, but then when we first meet Russell Crowe and this situation starts to ensue, my attention raised up way really, really high, and I was quite captivated for a while, and I was wondering are they going to be able to maintain this momentum? There's
I think that was maybe the best scene with those two characters.
The first introduction.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, this is going to be really fun, and it kind of lost me pretty soon after that.
But yeah, I'd agree that quite quickly I realized this film was not going to be be as consistent as I hoped it to be.
What did you think?
Are we still doing pros? Because I got nothing to say.
I have some pros. If anyone else has
I
anything
think it's
else to
already been
say.
covered for me because it's just Russell Crowe, just his acting, and
Yeah.
the script was the big downfall for that. But
Yeah.
he was the character. He captured what they were trying to create, I guess.
Maybe
Some really good splatter scenes in this movie, and that's what you've paid for.
But I don't even know if they're really good. They're definitely more interesting.
Some really good. Not all of them, but some are really
No,
good.
I would disagree because it's not like if you're a fan of gore, you've 100% seen 200 more gory splatter kind of fest than this. So don't go in there for that. It's not that. But I mean, there is some. It's more interesting than say a Marvel movie's action.
Yeah.
I
I
I
feel
was so unsatisfied
Yeah,
with the action and just the build-ups.
A lot of American movies are getting really lazy with action. They'll go really in with the close-up handheld, and then you swing the camera a lot, and you can edit that together. But you don't really have a scene. It just tricks you into thinking you had an action scene.
Oh, the shaky camera.
Yeah, I'm just getting over it. There's a way to do it. The Bourne movies did those kind of scenes really well, but ever since then, we're stuck with them done really badly.
I was terrified going into this that as they got on the freeway, that would be the whole film. It's don't take the freeway. It's like, oh no, they're going to take the freeway. We're going to commit to this for 90 minutes on a freeway.
I was happy for that in a way.
Yeah,
What, you would have preferred to stay on the freeway for 90 minutes?
I would have preferred to have a contained like thriller with a bit of a concept like that, where it's like this whole thing takes place on the road.
Oh, I was just thinking back to Artemis Fowl in the house, and
yeah,
that was
yeah.
where the horror was hitting me.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, like it would have been great as like a self-contained thing, but because it tried to be more, or at least pass itself off as more, it ended up with less. So like those characters are just nothing.
Yeah.
She's just single mum. Oh, you know, there's nothing about her.
I feel like they also tried to make it more believable by being like, look, she's so down on her luck, she's lost the job, and then her having the mistake of not apologizing is more, you know, you forgive it more. You're like, oh, it's fine that she did that because, you know, she's down on her luck. She's had a bad day. But I don't think it worked.
But has she really had a bad day?
I'm going to show you a bad day.
Having Russell Crowe try and kill you because he's pissed off that you beeped at him, and I like
not just try to kill you, to steal your phone, and then kill people, to teach you a lesson.
Murder people you know and traumatize you forever, and try and kill your son
because you beeped a bit too long.
Yeah, no courtesy tap.
No.
I like that in movies where you have a villain who's it's not about their motivation, it's just that they are the stand-in for the conflict of the movie, like Funny Games or something, where it's like you don't really need to go into that. The point is they're after you gotta survive.
But I think that the reason that this has to happen to this character, I feel like it doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't pay off thematically.
He was looking for a reason to fuck up someone's day.
I like that.
He was waiting for someone to like be rude.
I'm not criticizing Russell Crowe's character. I'm criticizing Rachel's character because the things that happen to her in this film thematically don't pay off for her learning any sort of lesson or doing anything.
So thematically, the film touches a lot on like road rage, but rage in society today. And I feel like they, you know, you can see what they're trying to say, but they never really explore it that much. It's kind of the plot dances around that idea, but you never really talk about it or explore it. Or...
Yeah, that's my problem. While trying to act like they're being relevant or like they have a message.
Yeah, but you're gonna find out.
So they can put Academy Award winner Russell Crowe on the poster with a straight face.
Yeah.
Even on the poster, it says like it can happen to anyone. Like,
Yeah.
No, can't.
So stupid. Also, just how like she could just like look up the Find My Phone app and just cancel out the phone.
Yeah, you can block the phone.
Yeah, then they brought that up later. It's like, why didn't you just do that 30 minutes ago?
Yeah.
There was also a moment where, you know, her son, I'm guessing he's meant to be like at least like early teens or whatever, and this kid doesn't have a mobile phone. And like, there's a moment she's like, oh, I don't have any phone to call the police. And he's like, maybe we can use the iPad. And it's like, why don't you have a mobile? What sort of child are you in the 21st century? You must be the biggest loser at school.
Yeah. And she doesn't have a password on her phone. I didn't believe that for a second. Phones make you have passwords.
It's an iPhone. Yeah, you cannot not have a password on your phone.
He transfers all of her savings into her ex-husband's bank account, and even if you can get into your phone, you usually need to log in again into your bank account. Even if you got into somebody's phone, it's not like you don't just automatically get in.
And the fact that all the addresses, all the contact lists have their addresses.
I'm just gonna fill in every single. I don't remember where my mum lives sometimes, so I need a.
You need to remember their name, age, what their fucking hair color is, where they live, how many kittens they have. Why the fuck do you need all that information in a phone? Maybe a name and a picture. That's it.
See, to me, that was a very easy suspension of disbelief for me.
Yeah,
like, I could easily look past that, but the film has much bigger problems.
Well, I don't want to go through the list of the thing, but you learn little pieces of information about him, you know. But the sum total of that, with his actions, is just so completely unreasonable, you know.
I thought the movie, I was almost looking forward to it because I thought it was going to be bad, but I thought it would be silly and I'd have fun. And then the fact it took itself so seriously was such a drag.
I think the thing about this movie, and as a fan of thrillers, when it started, like the first 10 minutes specifically, I was like, oh, this could be really interesting. I'm so into this. Back in the cinema, big sound, nice little like contained thriller. This will be a fun popcorn film. And it started to lose me when it got into the second act, when it kind of got to the point where she was making decisions, and as an audience member, I love it in a film where you're like, that's exactly what I would do. oh shit, I would be in the exact same position as her now. What do we do? And the script is really smart. It doesn't have convenient, she forgets to, or the kid doesn't have a phone for some reason. And that was one of the big flaws with this movie, is that it didn't her course of action to deal with him didn't feel like, yeah, you go girl. Like, it felt like, what are you doing?
Like that diner scene was almost good.
There's moments I enjoyed about it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I enjoy the extreme extreme violence.
Wow.
Oh, Bailey Mackay, 2020. I enjoy extreme violence.
Then bluff this! Ryan, stab somebody!
Things that just, way too big a suspension of disbelief. McPoyle is being murdered in the diner.
Yeah.
And I thought, I was like, oh, like when he first gets smashed in the face with that
was
mob.
a good effect.
That was great. And I was like, shit, this is going to be really tight. And Russell Crowe's now going to run out of there.
Yeah.
And then he spends 2 minutes there sitting on the phone talking while he's got this guy and stabs him in the hand a minute later.
In the back of the neck, right?
No, in the back of the neck. And everyone else is...
Everyone's shocked and horrified.
Just in the diner like this, or recording it on their phones.
And
You
nothing
think it would
happens.
turn into some Dog Day Afternoon shit, where there'd be 10 cops outside. And...
Yeah, or certainly there would be, I feel, because this diner just feels like there's so many people in it, that there would be one guy in the kitchen who's like, I'm going to take this knife and come up behind this big fat dude, this big old fat guy, and stab in the back of the neck. He doesn't look that fucking...
I was thinking
I
this
think
movie...
they're trying to do a lot of commentary on today's society, though, especially going back to the cousin at home, being like, oh, look, isn't that diner we go to? They're trying to say that this is how people are nowadays. It doesn't work. People that just want to avoid conflict. And they're trying to make a commentary.
While implicating it through male rage, but they never actually say it.
If this film was set in a state where you could open carry, it would be a very short film.
Yeah.
Someone in that diner just would have shot him or something.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I really usually...
America.
Yeah, it is America. They have guns.
And it's not the same country, but do you remember how there was that guy who was taken down in the streets with a milk crate and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A fugitive running, fallen from God.
And I also just couldn't believe that the police force in that town or city was that inept.
Yeah.
That this guy
Yeah.
could kill a guy in broad daylight
Yeah.
in a cafe, then run a guy over,
He's
then...
literally causing explosions and mass shootings and
Yeah.
killings. I mean,
Yeah.
His
things
murders
like
from
that.
the last night were already on the news too.
Yeah. So there'd be helicopters around looking for him.
The F-150 as a truck is, it's huge, it's menacing,
solidly built.
solidly built, and now you're in a fucking Prius.
Ramming people on the highway at 100 miles per hour.
The front end of that car would have no structure whatsoever. It's designed to crumple. Cars are designed to crumple.
I kind of wish the car was more of a character, because if you ever watch Wolf Creek or something,
Yeah.
you get away from him and then you see his car, and it's just it strikes fear in your heart.
Yeah.
Seeing his car appear behind him in the rearview mirror or something should be terrifying.
Jewel does the same thing.
Yeah,
The big, massive.
I wish they went there.
If it wants to go campier, then at least you could have fun. And if it wants to be more serious, they need to do some serious work with that script.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love her reacting to what he did rather than her being like, here's the plan. Here's what we're going to do. And she had a few different flaky plans throughout the film.
I just feel like by that point you're already lost with it.
Yeah.
It's not believable.
No.
Just the way they go about it, you don't really care for the character because you think she's making the wrong decisions the whole time.
Yeah.
I remember seeing in a behind the scenes once, this director was saying that they were directing an actor and he was doing this performance in an emotional scene, and then the director said out loud, I can see this with the music in my head already, and the actor got really upset because it's just am I nothing to you? And that's kind of like how I felt with Unhinged. Every single time Russell Crowe Robert Crowe. Every single time Russell Crowe does something like an eye gesture, it's embellished with the soundtrack, and I find that kind of thing so annoying. And the soundtrack does that the entire movie.
Very
You can't
distracting.
have any thought to yourself about what to feel or whatever, and it's so obnoxious and insulting And yeah, it's one of the worst soundtracks I've probably in any movie.
One of those things where they like look at you and there'll be like a symbol thing
Yeah.
to go with it, and
And it honestly took out any enjoyment I could have gotten from this movie.
yeah.
Towards the end of this movie, when it's like the big climax, Rachel crashes her car into Russell Crowe's vehicle, and it like spins over. And he's also already been shot. And he's been like bleeding out for quite a while. And I can have, the disbelief that, somebody can take a lot more damage in a movie than in real life.
Hollywood.
But this car flips over and she like gets out of her car and runs around the other side, and he's gone. And somehow this 150 kilo man like somehow has undone his seatbelt, fallen upside down inside the car, and just like run away. And I'm like, how is he? Where is he gone to? Where is he? How is he? Is he hiding behind a bush? I found that to be something that was. So I also could imagine it before she like saw the seat was empty. I was like, he's not gonna be there somehow.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be logical. It's not gonna be.
I thought it would be. I thought he would be stuck in there, and she'd give him like a word treatment, like you've done your last damage, and then I don't know. I thought that happened, but
Just pushes it on her and she says, "You've done your last damage."
I'm not a screenwriter. But what eventually starts happening is he magically disappears, and it's like, great, there's another fucking plot point to fucking rip on. Like, how is this movie just plot convenience after plot convenience after, hey, I left my phone unlocked even though you can't.
Third act felt very lazy.
Yeah.
A lot of
Did
the
you guys
movie-
catch at the end with the editing when he comes into the house? And it's just so messy how he like comes up to the crawl space and then he's like down there like fighting her. And...
Oh, there was like a bait and switch where you think he's going to come into the sun, but she does.
But
then he immediately comes in anyway.
Yeah,
So
How
it's
did-
like,
how did
it
she
feels
get
like
in
bad
before-
editing.
Beautiful girls, they only wanna do you dirt. They'll have you suicidal.
They imagine the audience is just like, oh, big explosion. Oh, there's another one.
Unless she broke into the top, she jumped up onto like a ledge. or
Man,
something.
they don't think people are looking this far into
there's any like wife abusers in the audience being like, yeah.
Good thing that nobody got.
Suicidal.
Stupid.
I don't think it's like, I don't think this movie is like bad. It's just not good. I don't think it's like terrible. I would disagree that it's incompetent and everything, but it's just messy. It's not.
Yeah.
The biggest saving grace for this film was that it was entertaining. But even though I was like, that doesn't make any sense on that, or that, or just that it was stupid, or that did it play up to how big and over the top, or how intense and terrifying I would want it to be. I still was genuinely quite interested where it would go and how it would finish, or what just happened left some sort of taste in my mouth rather than nothing.
I felt going into this film. I have to disagree with both of you, and I'm kind of on your side with it. The sound was horrible. The script was horrible. Russell Crowe was decent. Russell Crowe was alright, using the Fortnite tactic as the through line, and just introducing the scissors. I understand they have to do something like that. It's a technique, but it's just so badly done, and it lost me. Like I had no belief for what was going on. Didn't care for the main character. I almost felt like I was supposed to be caring for Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
I was like, is
He
he
was
the protagonist?
The only one that has any kind of story.
Yeah.
Because even her story, like we're going through a divorce with her husband, ends up servicing his story, not hers.
Yeah. With this movie, it could be a movie that you show to your cousin or something like that. That's like, look how ridiculous this is, and that's the only way anyone would hear about it.
I wish it was that movie. I really do.
In my personal opinion, I feel like that could be how word spreads about it. But the fact that it is taking itself so seriously is, if it's trying to be a serious movie, which I think it is, it doesn't work at all. It's
I hated the big explosion moments and whatnot. I just didn't feel like I was I felt like I cared about anything. Anything. I don't know why. I don't think I can really explain it, but I really didn't care.
I just hate single mothers.
That's it, dude. I'm starting to realize.
Sounds like you're waking up.
I'm wide awake.
So I thought this movie was messy, ridiculous when it tried to be serious, and serious when it tried to be messy, or it tried to be funny. So all in all, it was just a giant mishmash of confusion, really. So, but that being said, I don't necessarily think it was a terrible movie. I just think it wasn't executed as properly as it could have been. Maybe the writing could have been better. Maybe some of the action sequences could have been filmed a little bit easier or better. So yeah, with all that being said, I think I'm gonna give this movie a 4.
I feel very similar. I think we all feel quite similar about this film. It's definitely not a good film. I'm not even sure if I would necessarily recommend it. There are certain people I would recommend it to, or if you're just looking for something to switch off to and have some laughs. There are like a few moments. There's definitely enough moments that I felt to keep someone entertained, but not necessarily focused. Just entertained. And even then, it has moments where it meanders or it sort of loses itself, and I think the third act is probably the weakest point of the film, which really should be your best. And if you don't sort of send yourself off, with a something to remember, nobody remembers the first 2 acts either. So I'm gonna give this a 5.
I love that you're saying, yeah, if you want to throw on a film for a few laughs, it's like a thriller with Russell Crowe. Well, pull out a popcorn, they're laughing.
I mean, I think if you've been missing the cinema, this is a good opportunity to get back in the cinema and see something loud and fast. And I would say tight as far as the running time, but that's the only thing tight about it. I other than that, I really can't recommend this. In fact, I would recommend not to go see it, to give it a miss, to maybe wait for Tenet if you're raring to go back to the movies. But if you are going to see this, it's probably worth seeing in cinema. If you like thrillers, contain little, I don't want to call them bottle episodes, but contain little
concept pieces.
Yeah. But it wasn't quite effective, and the mechanic didn't work, and it didn't, I think, know what it wanted to do. I think it was trying to be fun, took itself too seriously, and kind of came off just as a bit muddy. So I'm going to give it a 3. But I think it's definitely not trash.
Yeah, I guess I went into this film wanting just some fun. I wanted to have some fun and enjoy it, but I couldn't. I didn't enjoy the writing. I did not believe anything. Want to give this film a better rating, as it's the first film I've seen in the cinema after quarantine, but I didn't enjoy the writing, didn't enjoy the sound, did not believe any of the choices that the characters made. I like Jimmy Simpson, the McPoyle. He was good. He was alright for when he was in the film. I was hoping he'd stick around, but he didn't, unfortunately. And Russell Crowe was decent in his performance, and I think the script held him back. But I give this film a 2. On to you.
I don't want to harper on for too long, but there was really absolutely nothing I enjoyed about this movie. And I thought it was dumb, and the fact it took itself so seriously about psychological things or trying to be relevant, I found offensive. And the sound was awful, and the characters were nothing, and I don't know. Rip the single mothers, but the film sucks. I'm giving it a 1.
Does that rip the single mothers?
Yeah.
I feel like you should have that in your final thing.
No, that's the best part of this final thing.
We'll put a little text underneath. I reckon.
My heart goes out to single mothers, but deserve better movies than this.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And what did you think about this movie? Let us know in the comments. So
nice.
Yeah, take care, guys. We'll see you in the next video.
We'll see you in my dreams.
In your dreams.
What Russell's your crow?
What Russell's your crow? Let's. Oh my god. To the final thoughts.
Yeah.
Cool. So who wants to go first? Anyone?
Dude, yeah, do me first.
Oh, let's check the prostate.